What's up, guys? Alrighty here, coming at you with video 2 for getting back to the basics on coon trapping. The most basic set you can do to get into coon trapping is going to be a DP of your choice. Figure out what trap's going to work for you. There's a lot of them out there. You got to think about if you want a push-pull trigger, just a pull only. That's mostly what I run, is pull only. I had modified some of my original Dukes to do push pull. I don't really see the benefit there, so most of my traps are pull only. But we'll go over some of the DPs I have here. Not a huge selection. Like I said, I'm a Duke DP guy, so I haven't really ventured too far out of there. No BS Lures makes a DP. It's really similar to these Dukes. It comes with the black powder coat, like all their traps do, and I think the chain attaches to the trap a different way, and then they also come with earth anchors on them. So it's actually a pretty good value when you add in that it comes with the earth anchors. And I think that that black powder coat might hold up better than the coatings on some of these. But the Dukes, now this is like probably one of my first Dukes, and this is a newer Duke. So you can see they come with this brown, I don't know if it's a powder coat or what, kind of seems like it's a powder coating. This brown coating on them. The newer ones have like a black coating on the spring. The original ones, they were powder coated, but they did not have any coatings on the springs. But figure out what DP you want to use. Like I said, the Dukes have never steered me wrong. I've never had any issues with them. They hold up really well, and they catch coons, and that's the most important thing, right? So, and they're a good price. This guy here is, I don't know what it is. It's a knockoff trap as far as I know. I got it they were giving them away at one of the conventions I went to a few years ago. It was this gold color, and I spray painted it this neon green this summer. So this trap is caught one coon, and it was all completely spray painted that bright green. So the paint does not last. If you're thinking you want to spray paint traps, that's fine, but just be prepared that it ain't gonna hold up very well. So figure out the DP you want to use. Here's this is a Freedom brand DP. It's definitely, I guess, more robust than the Dukes. It seems like it. It's a heavier trap by that, but the concept on these, and I haven't got it to work yet, but the concept is you can just lay these down and step on them to settle. But that has not worked for me yet. And then also, like, the Dukes, for sure, they come ready to go out of the box. So you can open the box, figure out what staking system you want to use, and run them. Now, this Freedom brand, when I got it, it would not set. So I don't know if that's going to be a common theme when you buy a dozen of them. But I had to file this dog straight there, where it latches onto here. It just would not stay set for me. So if you get some of these Freedom brand traps and they're not setting, there's gonna be a little file work you'll have to do. But you just squeeze that and then the trigger will catch on there. But you're supposed to be able to lay it down on the ground and step on it and set it that way too. And I had got these to try for the kids, to try to make it a little easier for them to set, but still don't know about them. So this is the only one I have. So we'll see how it works out for them. Otherwise, the Dukes and the similar ones that are like this, I mean, don't take a whole lot of hand strength to set these. You just give them a little squeeze, and once you get your fingers on that lever there, then it's pretty easy. You just set her in the dog, and they're good to go. You can mess around with putting hair triggers on them. I just set them all the way down right in the middle. That's always worked good for me. But find your traps, and then you don't need to boil them or degrease them. They should be ready to go right out of the box. If you want to paint them a different color, paint them while they're new, then they'll be good to go. So all right, so you've got your traps you want, and next you need to figure out how you're going to stake them. So when I first started, I cabled them off to trees and fence posts, stuff like that. Now I've gotten away from cabling and I stake mine, but get you some cable, make up some ends. When I first started, I was putting them right on the swivel, putting the cable right through the swivel and crimping it so it was the cable was always attached to my DPs. Since I've gotten away from cabling most of them, if I do cable, I just use quick links and quick link it on there. And if you're gonna cable them or attach your cable directly to your swivels, you want the one loop to be big enough that your trap can slide through it. But the concept on the cable is you find you a tree or a fence post, what you're going to tie off to, run your cable through one side, and then you got a loop, and you're tied off to your tree. And you can quick link it here on your trap. What I've found a lot of times with cabling off, I was having a lot of pullouts, a lot. They would get up in, if you tie it off to a little shrub tree or something, they'd get up in that tree, pull their feet out. If you tie it off to the fence post, they'd climb the fence and they'd get out, and you come back to check your traps, and you got a trap hanging on the fence, or you got a trap tangled up in a tree, and there's no coon there. So like I said, I got away from cabling. Sometimes you have to cable if you're in rocky area, rocky soil, or whatever reason, but most of the time I'm anchoring with these rebar stakes. This is the heavy duty rebar, and then I just have a guy that makes these up for me. He welds a washer a couple inches down from the top, and I believe they're 18 inches, 16, 18 inches, somewhere in there. And I've been using them for years and never had one pull a stake out of the ground. Now, of course, if you anchored it below a tree or right next to a fence post and the coon can climb up it, it don't take a whole lot of force to pull it straight up. But when you've got a coon on there and you got it, I run it all the way to the ground, just about an inch, just enough for your swivel to turn. So there's a little bit of room there. When you got a coon in there, they're not pulling up, they're pulling sideways. And I have yet to have a coon pull this out of the ground. And I'm gonna knock on some wood there, because now it's gonna happen this year. But so that's my preferred staking method are these, because all it takes is a hammer to drive it in the ground and they pull out really easy. Like I said, I do want to try those no BS DP traps. They come with, I think they're wolf fang anchors, so you'd have to have a driver with you all the time, and I don't know how easy it is to pull those wolf fangs out of the ground. But yeah, so you got your trap, you got your stakes. Like I said, the traps, they should be ready to go right out of the box. The only thing you're gonna have to do to them is attach your stake methods if you're gonna earth anchor them, or make up your cables to toggle them off. But you don't have to boil them, you don't have to dye them, you don't have to wax them. Like this Freedom brand is silver. I'm not gonna do anything with it. I just painted this just to mess with it, and I have painted, you know, some of my older Dukes. I would pressure wash them and paint them, but I don't even do that anymore. You know, of course, if they're caked with mud, I'll wash them off, but most of the time I pull them at the end of the season and throw them in a tote, and they don't come out again until next season. And that's generally how they look. So they hold up good. The Dukes, they've done me right. I don't have any complaints with the Dukes. They're a good value, good price. And when I first started, that's what I did. I ordered a dozen Duke DPs, and it came with like a free half gallon of some kind of coon bait. I think it was a Mark June's coon bait. Ordered it from PCS Outdoors. It was some special they were running, and made up some cables, and I was coon trapping. So now let's talk about some bait. The previous video you seen, I made that cherry coon crack's what I call it. So I got some of that made up already that I'll use around farmstead, so not have to worry about cats. There's commercial made baits, which this is a Dunlap DP bait. Fish smell. I don't know if this is like fish food. I don't know what it is inside, but it's like little balls, and they're packed in there good. So get you a commercial bait, make you a homemade bait, whatever you want to do. I'm gonna try these DP trigger baits from Rusat's Extreme Performance, Liesel Rusat. I use a lot of this coyote baits. So these, concept on these are they'll slide over your trigger. It's like a little rubber tube. There's a hole in the middle. These are cherry. So you just take your DP, point your trigger up, and you can just slide that right in there. I'm gonna try it with this alone. No other bait inside there. They definitely smell good. They have a really strong, this is the cherry. Got a crayfish one too. I think it's in my coon bag over there. But see how that works out. Like I said, I'm just kind of playing around this year with some different baits. And then this is the Firefly Glow Coon from Dunlap's. It's supposed to glow when it's been exposed to light. So my plan is put a little bit on the rim, or jam a marshmallow in there and put some of this on the marshmallow. But this has a really, really sweet smell to it, like really sweet. So that should be good. And then, you know, my old faithful here is just cheap, dry cat food. We get it by the 40-pound bag because we got a bunch of farm cats running around. So I'll just grab a scoop of that whenever I need it. But one of the things I see a lot of people do, and this will be with any bait, they fill these things up with bait. They fill it all the way up. There's absolutely no reason to put that much bait in your DPs. When I bait, when I bait these, I put in just enough. I mean, you can still see the trigger in mine when I bait them. So I mean, just a small little handful, put it in there. Maybe a little bit more than that. Like I said, just to the trigger. I can still see the trigger in there. And then I might sprinkle just a little bit, you know, outside of the trap and get their attention. And as soon as season starts, we're about 10 days out here in Illinois. I'll show you guys on trap location and how I sell. But I set my traps right in the middle of the trail. You know, guys paint their traps so it gets their attention. I put them right in the middle of the trail. They're going to trip over it. So I'm not worried about painting them so you can see them. the coon's gonna walk right into it. So I don't use a whole lot of fish oil, none of that stuff. I do have fish oil, you know, make the little trail around it. If there's 2 or 3 trails, you know, paralleling each other, maybe I'll take a little bit and squirt it so that if they're on the other trail, it brings their attention over. But just getting started, get you a dozen DPs and get you a 10-pound bag of cat food and some steaks, and you're good to go. Mess around with marshmallows and whatnot. I'll put marshmallows in there sometimes with the cat food. Sometimes it's just marshmallows. Whatever you want to do. Coons eat garbage, so use whatever you want, right? But yeah, so like I said, beginner coon trapping, get you a dozen DPs, get you some bait, go out and start trapping some coons. And you'll have a good time, and you'll get addicted to it, and you'll be trapping everything else before you know it. So that's about all I got for this video. Get online, get you some traps, and get out there, and I'll see you guys on the line later.